Hi there, this is Pet Beats, and I'm going to be going through this Succession drill remix I did about a year ago. Now, I did do like a mini breakdown video before I did the face cam stuff that was about a minute long. You can watch that if you want like a quick breakdown of how I made it, but I thought I'd do a bit more of an in-depth one. So we can just start with the main melody. So if you go and listen to like the original theme, you can clearly hear like there's piano and the strings. So first what I did is I went to like, I'm not sure the exact website, but there's YouTube videos as well, like breaking down chords and stuff you can use. So I basically I did like a massive pattern of like the whole theme and like the different notes that it was playing in the thing. So it takes quite a while to do this because I didn't want to like download a MIDI file and just like copy and paste, because I could do that but then you have to pay for it. So I was just like, I'll just do it myself. And it was quite fun doing it, like seeing how many different sections there is, because it's quite mad when you look at it like this. So here's a bit of a sample. And then there's so many different sections you can do, but I decided like I wanted like a hook section to keep the main core of the beat. So I just did that with obviously the most catchy part everyone recognises. It's a little like crescendo going there, if that's the right term, I'm not sure. But basically I just used like the other parts of the melodies, like the bridge section I was just on about. I used it with different instruments to create different sounding bridges, because we've got one here in between the hooks, but then there's like two different ones here, and even this one's a bit different towards the end. So it's just about keeping it interesting, because yes, it's a remix and like the melody's already been made and all that, but what you really want to do with a remix is like make it your own thing. So that's really what I was trying to do in these bridge sections that I'll go through. But I'll just start with the intro part of it. So we've just got the simple piano chords here. Yeah, very simple how it starts in the intro, and then the second pattern here we've got for the piano. It's got those notes in it as well, these higher notes, and the melody starts coming in. So that's pretty much repeating every time in the hook. And then we got these long strings that are coming in here halfway through each bar. So it's a really nice like call and response to the piano, and this is a violin in BBC Symphony Orchestra. So this is a 3 plugin, and all the sounds in it are really cool and clear sounding already. So you usually don't have to do that much mixing with them, which is really what you want from a plugin. You want good sounding things that you don't have to do too much to. So the other sounds we've got a cello that I used, as well as like a different pattern for the violin. So I'll just go through this short pattern here. So that's different to this one, and the notes are a lot shorter, and it feels like it's in a higher octave. So we've also got this one. It's just the same one but twice. It's just I didn't want it like just all repeating the same again. I wanted different things coming in at different times. So next we can start going through the bridge. So we've got this section for the piano. So it's a little less dramatic than the hook melody is for the piano, but then like it starts coming in with these lower notes and building up again, so that really helped bringing it back into the hook again. but also we've got, like I mentioned, we've got a cello here doing like some fast notes in a lower octave. So there's still like that element of fear in this bridge section, even though like it's a little less dramatic. And then we've got some more violins here, doing a similar pattern to the piano pretty much. Then those extra notes there, they're building more tension as it's coming back in again. So yeah, it's pretty much just that top line pattern of the piano that we've got. And I can go through some more of the bridges, but I don't want to bore you too much in the details of it, because it's just like a few changes from the original melody just copied in a different way. So we've got this. Yeah, just using the instruments in different ways, but I will show you this horn pattern that we've got. So it's some trumpets, and again it's just doing another pattern from the original melody. And this one's copied with those violins, again just to beef up the sound of the string basically. It's just like that final melodic element that adds a bit of like royal essence into it, I guess. So yeah, I can go through a bit in the mixing I did on the melodies. So like I said, like with the BBC orchestra, it's mostly there's not too much extra things on here. It's just a bit of Valhalla reverb. But I will say first, I forgot to mention about the piano plugin. So I think this is a free plugin that I got, and I've used this before in my beats. It's just a really nice sounding piano, and it's got loads of great presets. So I like to use this one, usually this soft piano preset. So without the effects it sounds okay. So I just wanted to emphasize that with an EQ, cutting some of these lows out. And then you'll see I boosted some here, some lows, and taken some mids out here. And then we boosted some of the highs just to give it a bit more room again. And then a lot of times on pianos I like to put compression on, because I think it really like thickens up the instrument, because it is really like the core instrument of the whole beat. So just got this piano preset invisible sustain on it, so it just gives it a bit more warmth. And then finally we've got the reverb here. It's a nice sounding preset. So now it sounds really clean, and yeah, next I'll go through all these strings really quick. So like I was saying, it's very simple, like just cutting these lows out and adding a bit of Valhalla on it. So before we've got the violin sounding like this. Then after, it's just giving everything really a bit more high end. So again, cutting out those lows, different Valhallas, and a bit of delay on this one here. Because that was a bit more in the high end, I wanted a bit of more spaciness there with the delay. And the cello again, just the same as the other strings. The other string as well. The only one that's different really is the horn. Made a bit of fruity chorus on there. Because it sounded like a bit flat, and I wanted it to sound a bit more like wetter, I guess, with the chorus. Anyway, let's go on to the drums. So first we got this 808, and first I'll just mention that all these sounds are from this free drill kit that I use quite a lot in my drill beats. So it's mostly like songs that have been used in like very well known drill songs, so there's like Pop Smoke sounds and all that stuff. So I just got this 808, very simple. I wanted something with like a lot of bass in it, not something too like distorted, but just like a good sounding 808. So before it sounded like this, and then it looks like a lot of effects, but I promise you it's not. It's just got an EQ taking some of those highs off, so we're not meddling too much with the hi-hats when they come in. Got a bit of side chaining, which is pretty standard for 808s. Only a little bit there. Now we've got some distortion, just the 808 preset, a little bit on there. Some Camel Crusher, this standard preset, I like using that quite a lot. These two mix quite well. It basically just makes the 808 sound like more of a bassy 808 basically. And then we've got some more distortion on here, just to give it that extra like overdrive. That's the preset. So before, you see it sounds a lot louder. And then you'll see these things at the bottom here are just basically automations here that I can go through a bit later. It's just some effects on the 808s to make it sound a bit cleaner at the end of some bars, and like in the middle here you'll see. And then we've got the limiter, and that's interacting with the kick, which I'll go through now. So this is just a really punchy kick. That's basically what I wanted. So very short, punchy kick, and you'll see the pattern's not very complicated. There's only about 6 to 7 in the bar, and it's just hitting on every 808 every now and again. And it's all it's got on is a soft clipper, giving it a bit of boost. And with the 808 and everything else, that sounds like this. You'll see there, it's sort of bouncing up and down the 808 when the kick's got this high chain on it. So we've got the standard 2:1 ratio, and the release is pretty standard. A little bit of attack, and thresholds pretty much how it usually is. So it's just ducking those low frequencies so you can hear the kick with everything. Next we've got, it's just called Woo, but it is just a snare. Very, you know, I just wanted to keep it simple with the sounds really, because the melody was already so good. I didn't want to overcomplicate it with the sounds. So just got a nice punchy snare. Yeah, and this is a very standard drill pattern, just on the 3, and then the 4, and then an extra one in the 4th bar there. This has an EQ on it, just boosting. I'm not sure why I boosted it there, but it makes it louder in that part where nothing else is. So then we've got a bit of delay on it, just to give it a bit of a spaced out effect, like the melody has. So it gives it more of like a different bounce than if it's just hitting like how it usually would. It sounds a bit flat. So it's all about like the bounce and like what you can do to create a different bounce, or like influence what's already there. And then next we got the counter snare or the hi-hat, because it sounds a bit like both. It sounds a bit like a shaker even. And this is a very simple drill pattern. It's pretty much just the same with a few extra notes added in there. So this also has a bit of delay and reverb like the snare, giving it a bit more space and slightly pan to the right there. Now next we got all the perks and the shakers and all that. So I'll go through that with the effects, but that the 808 sort of like got a delayed effect as it's going into the bridge. And that's just something I thought would sound really cool, because I love when I hear that in 808s and drill tracks. So this is basically it's the 808 pattern I already had, but I just copied it into a new channel and automated the delay. So what you can do to get that is you basically just click on it, create automation clip, and this is like the full level amount here. And what that's doing is the delay is only affected on the 808 higher note at the end of the bar, basically. So if you just turned it all off, it sounds, it sounds awful. You shouldn't put delay on 808s, I know, but it's just a cool little effect at the end of the bar here. Makes it sound really spacey, and it leads it nice into the bridge here. So finally we've got some drill effects just to keep it within that genre. So we've got this camera just to lead it in. Then we've got this bell that reverses into itself. When we go into the first hook, just gives that evil effect. We've got a stomp. We've got a crash. Just here it leads it back in. So you'll see there's quite a lot of like cutting and like adding things in. It just like really helps it come back in perfectly into the hook again. What else have we got? Oh yeah. So we've got the perks. So it's just a bongo mixed with this sound. I love that sound. I don't know why. It just sounds like a really cool sound mixed with a bongo. So I'm pretty sure it's hitting on the exact same notes or like similar notes. So here with it. So it's not hitting on the same note, but they're hitting like right next to each other. So it sounds like just kind of like a new perk almost hitting here. Just a nice little addition as we're going into the second, third, fourth hooks. And then finally we've got this shaker. So that's just here at the end of the 4 bars. It's just like a counter snare to the hi-hat or the already counter snare that we've got. Just another little element like the perks. So let's have a look. These drums, they've just got, just similar effects, just reverbs and delays standard, just to emphasize those spacey aspects that we already had. And then finally we've got the buses that all these instruments lead into. So we've got the drum bus, and this is just taking out the harsh lows of everything from the snare all the way up to the crash. Boosting a little bit there, I'm not sure that did that much, but then we've also got this drum compressor on it. So I like to add this one in, and I'm not sure what preset because it never shows me after I open it up again. But it's got lots of nice presets on it, and it just basically makes the drums sound like a lot warmer and louder, like what I did with the piano earlier. It's basically just doing that to the drums. Next we've got this reverb bus on the drums. I'll just show you what they sound like without all of that, and then with it. It sounds pretty nice, and then a lot warmer now. And then we've got this reverb send. So this is basically just sending this reverb here that's just the drum room preset, and it's just turned down, and it's mixing like the reverb of the drums in like this mid-high section with the original drums. And basically what that does, it merges with the original sound, and it just makes it sound like a lot wider. So before it sounds like this, and then after you hear it on the snare, it gives it a lot more space. And the melody bus, it's just taking like these lows out, which I seem to have been very careful about with the piano, because you don't want to take too much of the lows out with like a nice dark piano like this. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole beat. Like I was saying, it's just about from that original pattern that the original composer made. It's just about splitting it into the right sections and pasting it into the right instruments, basically. So I don't think actually there's horns in the original sample. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember I definitely wanted to add it in if like it didn't already sound too much, just to give it like an extra like effect on the remix. And you'll see this only comes in later on just to keep it more interesting. Finally, we just got this outro. So I think this is just like the intro. Oh no, it is a bit different. It's a different section actually, yeah. So yeah, that's just the final section of the piano and some strings. So if you want a quick breakdown of it, I'll link that video, but if you enjoyed this video and you want more remixes, I've got like a Severance remix that I'm going to do a breakdown next time, and obviously there's the normal beats as well if you want to check those out. So if you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.